Could there be another family story with Fiona and Shrek? Will we see Fiona's parents once again, or might we see more of Donkey and Dragon's relationship? We could see so much from this official next installment of the Shrek franchise, Shrek 5. From 2001, we were introduced to who Shrek was, his hopes and dreams, and how Fiona changed him. It was an instant hit with almost $500 million earned in the box office. Shrek 2 included new characters like Fiona's parents and Puss in Boots. With new films comes new characters, that's standard. With Shrek the Third, the new characters are the children. Placing 3 years after the events of the second film, it is to be possible that Fiona and Shrek were to be the new king and queen of the palace, but turns out they rather raised their children back in the swamp. 2010 is when we last saw the gang and the children. Having been tired of his parenting duties, Shrek wishes for one day as a real ogre, unknowingly realizing what Rumpel is really asking for. In the end, Shrek is borderline fading from existence until Fiona kisses him, almost like they first did when she took Love's true form in front of Lord Farquaad. Shrek is pulled back into reality, and instead of lashing out at Fiona in the beginning and wishing for a date to himself, he has a newfound appreciation for them. And then we finally get to the fifth one that was recently announced. With as many movies that have been out so far and sequels, the creators don't really want this to be a regular film series. The writer of this one has said that this one is set to be a pretty big renovation of the series. Michael McCullers said there's been 4 movies and a lot of material, so the characters are pretty beloved and they're great characters, but you also have to think of a pretty new take at that point. Since 2001, we have recognized these characters, made memes out of them, series, and other spin-offs like Puss in Boots. Based on what he said, it seems like he wants to not change the characters, but maybe where they are going. Now this could mean many things. With sequels, there tends to be a pattern. For whichever installment it is at the time, as far as the time period, they could resume right after the events of the last or before anything that we know already happened. Because McCullers said that they want to reinvent the franchise, that makes me think of something that we have never seen before, and that could be Shrek's life before he met Fiona, as we see in the musical with his parents when he was sent away. We remember that Fiona was cursed with turning into an ogre after sunset, and only human during sunrise. Well, there's no telling if the same thing happened to Shrek, and he just doesn't remember. This is a fairy tale land, so who knows what could have happened. And this seems very believable because of the world that Shrek and the rest live in. McCullers said that they did want to reinvent the franchise, so this very much could be possible. Aside from moving forward with the Shrek story and coming up with another situation for him to be in with Fiona and the kids, they could go backwards and go back to the origin story of when Shrek was born and how he ended up in the swamp. In the musical version, this was briefly mentioned, but I would really like to see if it was more fleshed out. Of course, this would mean that Donkey and Dragon and Fiona would not be included, but it's just an idea. On the other hand though, reinventing the franchise will completely turn things around, but to what extent and what that means, well, we'll just have to wait and see just what they want to change. On the flip side, many fans could be concerned about what creators will want to change. There has always been high stakes in the Shrek films, that's what made it entertaining, aside from the twist in the classic fairy tale story. The creators know they have to be semi-careful in providing an entire renovation of the story because we already know these characters, what they would do, what they wouldn't do, and for them to spring something entirely new using the same characters is a little risky. Some fans are nervous for the new route that they could be taking with the story and the characters. The only thing I could really see them doing is going back to when Shrek was little and what he went through with his parents, or just how he was created in general, why we have never met another ogre, or if he's just one of a kind. But I want to turn this around to you guys and ask, what do you expect from this Shrek 5 and what do you want or don't want from this film?